Hello, hello. Here we are. This is the live that we do on Tuesdays. We're running up to the retreat we have planned for October 19th to the 22nd. And an announcement is that I'm still deciding whether it's going to be this Friday or next Friday. It may be next Friday, but if we don't get enough people by next Friday, I'll say next Friday for now. And if that changes, I will put that on the website. If we do not get enough people by next Friday, then we will have to postpone it and do it in the spring. Bums me out that we don't have enough people signed up yet, and we're working on it. So any of you who are interested, if you've been kind of debating or if you're on the fence, I want you to look inside, make a decision, and decide whether you're going to go, because it could be amazing for you. It could be really amazing. And one of the things that we are going to talk about today, and Kara's going to share some movement practice around, is, I put in there, like, what were you thinking? And I want you to think about, what were you thinking when you woke up this morning? Like, literally when you got out of bed. And I wish I would have wrote down for myself what I'm thinking, because I don't always pay that close attention to it. And I know that for me, it's often like, what's on the schedule? What's what do I have to be thinking about? Do I have to move my workout up in order to be somewhere at a certain time? Because I kind of have a morning routine, and I pretty much know day to day what my workout is going to be. And now I've got a pretty solid routine with my pre-workout practice, where I do some meditation and some physical yoga-ish practices, yoga type practices. But, what's running through your head when you wake up? What's that first thing that you're thinking about? Is it, I need to get this done? Or maybe it was, here I am. I didn't get this done yesterday, or I need to make sure I follow up with XYZ, because there's times where I plan my whole week out, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put this on the calendar, or I forgot to follow up about this, or, this morning it was, oh, I forgot to call this doctor to get some information about a prescription I'm out of, because at night when I took it, I was like, I'm out, I'm done. And when you're going through, when you first wake up, those thoughts are going to generate a feeling. If you're thinking, I didn't get that done, or I didn't get this done, or I didn't get, or I have to get this, I have to get that, there might be some anxiety that's created then. And what we do during our day, how we, flow through our day, is going to be driven by the thoughts we have. And those thoughts create feelings, and those feelings create our actions. So I want you to think about for a moment, how do you want to feel when you wake up? How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel energized? Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel focused? What is that feeling, and what thought? And this might be something that you write down and you put next to your bed so that you see it, or you put it on your mirror so that you see it in the morning, that can help you, something that you believe that isn't, so pie in the sky that it's unbelievable. But is there something a thought that you can purposefully and consciously decide to think in the morning when you get up, so that it generates a feeling that is going to serve you throughout the day? Now, there's some days we wake up and anxiety. I mean, there's times where I wake up and I know there's some anxiety there. I had a call with a big client yesterday, and I woke up with anxiety. And in those times, can you be with it and not allow it to send you into a spiral of doubt and fear and, all sorts of things that are rumination, and things that are going to spiral you into actions that don't serve you? Can you acknowledge the feeling and let it be there? Let it flow through, because a feeling is just a vibration. Literally, just a vibration. And can we allow it? Can we feel it? Can we let it pass through our body and not go down the rabbit hole with it? So that is my offer to you today. There's a few things that you might think, if you've got something stressful or something challenging, I've got this, or I'm going to make it a great day, or I am organized and prepared for my day. I am a great, whatever role you have, and I love what I do. Now, if that's not the case, you don't want to say that. Or I am grateful for the sunshine, the rain, whatever it is. Today we had rain, and it was, it's always a great thing. It makes, makes the grass grow. We'd had a long stretch of dryness, so the rain is helping the grass grow. So whatever happens outside of you is of absolutely no relevance. The only thing that matters is your thoughts about it. And so, can you observe those? Can you be conscious of those? And can you work towards putting conscious thoughts, putting purposeful thoughts, putting intentional thoughts into your mind at the beginning of your day to create the feeling that will create the activity, the results, the actions that you want to take that day? So that's what I had. Next week, we will talk a little bit about kind of another step you can take after this, and I'd encourage you to really be observant for the next week. What are my thoughts? And what is a thought that I would love to have in the morning? And what feeling does that thought generate? Or maybe what feeling do I want to have? And what thought will help me generate that feeling? So if you want to come into the day focused, what's the thought that'll help you feel focused? What's the thought that will help you feel determined? What's the thought that would help you feel calm? Whatever that might be. So observe this next week and see what intentional thought you'd like to take with you into the day when you wake up each morning. I am going to turn it over to Kara, and I am actually going to spotlight her. Let's see if I can, to make it just a little easier. Actually, I'm going to solo you. We'll just do that for now. That way everyone can see you better.
Thanks, Dottie.
Right. I'm going to turn it over to Kara. Kara is going to take us through a movement practice.
So there's two things that I find to be somewhat helpful with all of this. One is that my own practice when I wake up in the morning is before I even get out of bed, I can tell whether I'm already going down that trail with lots of either anxious or excited or frustrated thoughts, whatever the flavor of the day might be. And so because I tend to wake up and immediately all the lights go on in the attic and I'm thinking before I've even really fully woken up, I've started in the past year just spending however much time I might be able to give to it. So some days it's 5 minutes, some days it's a half hour, and I will just start with a body scan meditation and just put my attention in my body. I want my body to wake up, and it takes longer for my body to wake up than my mind. So I just go through and I'll put my attention on one hand and then the other hand, the arms, the shoulders, and just kind of go through. You can name any body parts that draw your attention, and it doesn't have to be, from your hand to your wrist to your arm. It could be your left thumb and your right ear. But I just kind of go through and place attention in the body. And then I get a better sense for whether my body is feeling restless or grounded, sleepy, overwhelmed, and what is the relationship between the body and the mind. And I try to keep it as simple as possible and not go too deeply into it, because I can very quickly start to, microanalyze all of that and try to resolve it. But really the idea is just to see what is the relationship, what's happening here and what's happening in the rest of this whole organism, and how do they interact. And then what I usually start students off with in a yoga practice is moving the spine in different ways, because anything we do to the spine is going to have some kind of an effect on the central nervous system. So I'll show a couple of ways to do that. And actually, I have to admit that I put my glasses somewhere, someplace so safe that even I can't find them. So Dottie, if I'm decapitated, let me know. I can't tell if my head is on the screen.
Your head is on the screen. You're good to go.
Okay, perfect. So often we'll start just a breath in, arms come up, just lengthening the spine, feeling the spine's full length, and then a breath out and the arms come down. A very simple version of a sun breath, and I might do that 3 times. Inhale and reach up, rooting down through the feet, let the arms move, the spine is long, and one more breath all the way up. This time when I exhale, I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to come into a standing squat posture, but I'm going to plant my hands on my knees. And here's where we'll begin to move the spine. As you exhale, tuck your chin, round your back a little bit. Let the deep abdominals engage quite a lot. And then breathe in and lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades toward each other. Look up, lift your tailbone. Go back and forth here a few times. This is just flexion and extension of the spine. And when we do it with the hands scaffolded on the legs, it tends to be pretty safe, even if there's low bone density, because we've got a lot of muscular control and a lot of bony support. So we'll go back and forth a little bit. And then when you come back to neutral, where you're not lifting your chest forward or rounding your back, slide your hands further down the legs, bring your hands to the floor, come onto your hands and knees. And now we'll do similar flexion and extension, but with the side body. So I'm going to take my left shoulder and bring it back, and I'm going to bring my left hip forward, so the left side of my body gets a little bit smaller. I'm compressing some of the soft tissues on that left side and stretching the right. I'm going to straighten back out, and now the same thing on the other side. Squeeze on the right, stretch the left, and open back up. And all of this is just encouraging the digestive process, the movement of fluids through the soft tissues. It's a good way to just begin, just wake up. And then the final 2 movements of the spine. So we have forward and backward flexion, side flexion, left and right. And then we have shearing or rotation or twist of the spine. So to do that, I'll bring my knees together and my hands forward, and I'm going to take hips over to one side and then up and over to the other side. This one I find to be especially good for releasing hip and low back tension and just getting a sense of grounding in the body. What is it that we're bringing into the day? What is it that we're moving and opening up? And then when the hips come back up, then take your hips back toward your heels, slide your arms forward and bring your thumbs close to each other. Now rotate the chest. So this is rotation of the thoracic spine where the rib cage sits. So you're getting a little more shoulder and upper arm response and unlocking some of the stuck spots in the upper back. And we'll twist once more to each side. And then turn to face the floor, draw the hands back under. And that's really it, the 6 movements of the spine, a little bit of a sun breath. That might take you 5 minutes. You could extend it longer. And for anyone who knows the full sun salutation, this could be a good lead up to that. Just kind of clearing space, moving breath, moving fluids, and beginning the day.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one that you had in a practice that you gave us at one of the retreats, and it was side to side, which I absolutely loved. It was just kind of leaning, so you can't really see me that well, but it's kind of putting your arm, if you need to, all the way down to the elbow and just side to side. I loved that one.
Yeah, that one feels really good too. And you can lean to one side and circle the shoulder around. It really just moves a lot in the upper body. So especially sometimes I wake up with headaches. It's kind of a thing that's just been there for me for a long time. It doesn't happen every day, but if I'm going to have a headache, I'll often wake up with one. And that helps to move some of that because it just feels really stuck. And if I what you just showed, the leaning side to side and circling the shoulder, can be really helpful for that. Waking up with a headache definitely sets a tone for the day.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I will tell you that I changed some things in my lifestyle, and I have not had a headache, knock on wood, for a very long time.
Oh, that's great.
I used to get them every month, like migraine, 3 days, 3 to
Yeah,
4 days. I used to get them every month. I hated
that's
it.
what
It was
I get the same every month since I
hormonal.
was 18.
I didn't
Yeah.
have them early on. I did not have them early on. And it's some of those things that physical pain we can often use that as a way to let our thoughts control our feelings and our
Mhm.
actions. Because when we resist against it and think, I shouldn't have this, I don't want this, it's like trying to push a beach ball underwater and hold it underwater. When we say, okay, headache, okay, here you are. And what one of my coaches says is, can you carry it around? And she speaks to anxiety in this way. But I think some physical pain is interesting. And I tried this actually I had some jaw pain because I had an implant put in for the second time because the first one failed. I was not a happy camper. I do not I mean, I don't numb easily. They can't use epinephrine on me because of I have like an allergic reaction to it. And anyway, so I had this, and what two things she recommends is one, to just, okay, this is pain. I'm feeling pain. I'm feeling physical. This is pain. And just to be with it. And it was surprisingly how it lessened, and how, because when I thought, I hate this, I don't like this, it hurts, and I would tense, my whole face would tense up, making it worse. And then with emotional pain, or with emotional things like anxiety, or, when got these emotions, can you allow it? And if it's still there, what she says is, carry it around like a heavy purse. Can you take it with you throughout your day, like I said earlier, without going down the rabbit hole with it, without pushing against it,
Mhm.
without, clenching into it, like, either holding it and trying to push it away, ignoring it. If we can allow it and feel it, usually passes through, and sometimes it'll come in waves, especially if there's things like grief. And some people with chronic anxiety, the anxiety continues to come back, so there's ways to allow it as well. So there's some ways to be intentional about our thoughts, like I said earlier, that will help us create some different feelings. There's ways to move our nervous system, so that, as Kara mentioned, so that to move our spine, so that um, cerebral spinal fluid can help emanate through the body and create more ease through movement. And I have found that, in fact, like this morning, I just felt I wanted to get a little bit more fluid for a run I was going on. And I did, that standing. I didn't do it standing, but on my hands and knees, I did the
Mhm.
cat cow kind of posture to kind of, and I moved my arms a little bit to kind of move some energy to make sure that I could be more calm and focused on my run. Because even when I exercise, if I'm coming from a place of stress, I notice that the workout is harder. If I come from a place of ease and comfort, and maybe not even comfort, if I know it's going to be hard, and if I just accept that, and not every workout is really hard, but anyway. So those are the few things that we have for you today. If you have questions about the retreat, please feel free to DM me. This is going onto YouTube, so DM, you can just put some comments in the underneath the video, or you can just email me at Dotty, Dotty at In Plain Sight Inc. I'll try to add that to the comments. Dotty at inplainsightinc.com, and it's also going to LinkedIn, so you can just DM me, just send me a direct message and ask me any questions you have. If you go to inplainsightinc.com, you will find a banner at the top of the page. Click on that, and that'll have all the information about the retreat. Carol will be there providing yoga every morning every evening. We will have absolutely scrumptious food by Kat. She is an
Mhm.
absolute wonderful cook and has cooked at several retreats I've been at this
Mhm.
retreat house in Maine. So it's going to be wonderful. I hope that we fill it. I hope we don't have to postpone it. So let us know if you're interested. Kara, any final last words?
Notice what you think when you wake up tomorrow and notice how you feel.
Yeah, take it a moment to observe every morning here for the next week and see what you feel. Would love to hear from you. Thanks, everyone, and have an
Thank you.
amazing rest of your week.